Hello, here's Magali regarding a random video. It's a long time I didn't do any. I think it's just because I was not really available for like kind of processing and sharing random thoughts about things, and I was more focused on my own process. And today and yesterday came twice the topic of responsibility, irresponsibility, and I thought that, oh yeah, maybe it could be actually something I could talk about because there are things to say about it, and my irresponsibility, to be more precise. And it came like with a conversation I had yesterday with a friend of mine who we were talking. He couldn't understand still why a friend I had decided to stop being friend with me, just for many reasons, but also including my irresponsibility. She was qualifying my behavior, the fact of like dropping everything, quitting my job and my flat, and just going for the unknown and relying on others, as obviously. To live was not a responsible way to live, and which I totally understand, because in a sense it can definitely appear irresponsible, but in my situation it would have been more irresponsible to keep on a track, and like a work track and a career that was driving me mad. It already led me to burnout a couple of years ago, and it was still very unhealthy, like for my mental health, and it would have been for me more irresponsible to keep on in a track that is driving you crazy and will make me like end up in a madhouse with no intellectual matter anymore to actually take care of myself, and then being really dependent and relying on others, and with no possibility to be able to actually find a solution for myself. So it was kind of a prevention that I stopped before it was too late, so I could reorganize my life, even though that choice I took is some kind of totally unknown and risky. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do, and you have to try things different. Like, if you, it's kind of stupid to keep on doing the same thing expecting different result. If it's not working, then you should maybe do something else. I don't know. Well, that's what I decided to do, and that's actually why I'm doing this year, like this kind of open creative process, and also why I'm documenting it. And I think it's actually a good idea to do this video now, because I can also come back and on the main reason why I'm doing this channel with this journal, of the online journal of my recording, documenting my creative process. Because on those videos I mainly talk about like the ups and down of my of how I feel, how my process is going. But I think it's a long time I didn't actually mention why I was doing this. And the idea is I want to experiment a new way of relating to our creativity and our creative process. I want to find a way that would be healthier, and also that it's something that would be more guided, intuitive, instinctive, kind of following the flow of the inspiration that comes to us, and that we can just act on it, and trying to avoid unnecessary stress, I would say. And because I was reading on this in different books, talk about this, the path of least resistance, of this kind of topics. And also in my own life, I see that the more you let things come to you. Like, if you open room for it, if you are like not a control freak trying to like fix everything into boxes, and then of course there is no room for new and unexpected, because everything is already under control. So and in a sense it's true that maybe my path is responsible because I decided to give up on control, basically. But it's definitely a matter of perspective. What is being responsible, and what are our aim behind it? Like, if it's for sure, if your only aim is to be self reliable and independent, then like giving up your only source of income is irresponsible. But my aim was to be healthy and productive, and then and still my aim, actually my aim is to be healthy and be able to contribute to my society around me. And if I have to make sacrifices, meaning like I have to be dependent from other people for a while I can actually create something that is useful and has a value for others, then I'll definitely take the risk. And that's a risk I'm taking now, because I trust in me, and I trust in that process. So basically I'm experimenting a new way to relate to the creativity. And it's funny because if I look now I'm documenting. I'm starting a project. I said a crowdfunding campaign in November for the Love campaign, and the idea came like end of August, and I said, yeah, I'll do it. In November seems to be like a good time, and that's also part of the process, is trusting that the first idea that comes is actually a good idea, and we don't need to overthink it. And so then you save a lot of time as well. Like, you don't drive your mind crazy. You're just like, okay, it's gonna be November, but still, I wanted to respect the flow and the process that I've been implementing since the beginning of the year, so not putting on myself any pressure or any stress. And so then I decided that it would be in November, and then I went for 3 weeks off just because I had to go to Lisbon. And I had a hiking trip planned in the mountains. So, and it's funny because it's like, what? It's gonna be 3 weeks, and now it's only 5 weeks left, and I didn't have so much time to properly work. But this said, I had a lot of like, I don't know, flash of inspiration, and I've been very productive in very little time. That it was like last Sunday or even this morning. And when I think about it, I'm like, I'm doing a lot of work, like very efficient work that I would have maybe needed much more time if I would have done it in the traditional way as I used to do. Like, you know, those all the plans and like the 3 years for cast. I don't know how to say this in English, but I guess, you know, like the business plan and all those things, like, and the middle steps. And no, now I just gave up on all those things that used to really control the process. And now it's just like, okay, I trust that the ideas that come to me are the right one, and the one I need to know will come on time when I need to know them. And yeah, like I was mentioning this in my update video Sunday, and that I'm kind of confident in the sense that it's going to be working, like, and I feel it more and more. And it's ridiculous because I have no proof to show that, but it's kind of something I feel inside of me, that the thing is growing a bit like a seed, you know. If you put a seed underground, then it will go out of its shell, it will grow slightly, the sprout, but things are moving, but you can't see anything from the surface. You can just only see it after, when it will go out of the ground, but it doesn't mean that nothing is happening. And I really feel that. So it's kind of an interesting metaphor, but it's what I'm experiencing now. And maybe I'm totally crazy because, yeah, like what I feel is it's just full of nonsense, but maybe it's something that is worth taking into consideration. And that's why I'm documenting all this, because I want to know. And if it works, like the moment of truth will come in November, like 1st of November, to know if I will actually be ready for that crowdfunding campaign. And the very truth will come at the end of the campaign to know if this is a success. And if all this, well, what I'm doing is actually worth it, I will have documented the process of me doing things only when I feel like doing them, and not forcing myself, and then proving that this is actually a very valuable alternative to the way we kind of work today, with all those proof and those plans that we kind of edit and overthink and rethink. And I was thinking about this morning, and I say, yeah, like, if I really see how I used to work before, compared in comparison to what I do now, is I would take credit for my work, my ideas and my work and everything. Actually, I would feel responsible. And if an idea would come out of me, I would say, okay, I have to prove to myself first, but also to others, that it's actually an idea worth exploring. And I will overthinking, like, plan it with others, and like with I will value it according to some external ideas, and I will spend a lot of time actually to credit, to prove the benefit of that idea. Where now I'm just like taking it a lot anyway. It has to, like, because the aim of the process is to trust that everything that comes to me is the right thing to do. Then I don't waste so much time of energy in overthinking. And this is actually key. Like, why do we waste so much time in overthinking? For example, the name of the little character from the Love campaign, Timmy, the name came to me, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be Timmy. I'm not gonna, maybe it's not perfect name, but actually his name doesn't matter, because he could be called John or Paul. And the idea is not his name, is like the values he is embodying. That is actually the only thing that is important, and all the project that it exists. But the name of the character has no importance in. So yeah, it's like a totally different way of seeing things. and relating to them, and so then you're not so serious about it, much lighter, and then more efficient, because you don't waste time in unnecessary stress. And this thing about dissociating yourself, I didn't well, not I didn't shit, sorry, not I didn't identify, oh shit, you know what I mean, like to not identify yourself. Oof, wow, that was hard. um, uh, it's actually something that has been talked in a TEDx, that I will also put the link below. Someone said that back in the days we used to say that we have a genius, not that we are a genius. So, and this will actually relieve a lot of creators, because they would just say, okay, I'm doing my work. My work is actually to be a good channel to hear and to put in the material world all this inspiration that has been said to me, to some kind of genius, that someone is talking to me and I'm just producing what comes to me. And actually I like this idea, so that's why I'm happy to experiment all this. And that's it for this video, that is already quite long. See you later.